The next morning, your sister's voice rang out from downstairs. Ryan, wake up and fresh up. Breakfast is ready. You groaned softly, rolling over in bed. Alright, I'm coming. You called back, your voice still heavy with sleep. Dragging yourself out of bed, you quickly freshened up, tying your hair into a loose bun and slipped into comfortable clothes went to downstairs. As you descended the stairs, the aroma of freshly cooked food filled the air, making your stomach rumble. Good morning, sleepyhead, your sister greeted with a grin as you entered the kitchen. She was wearing an apron, her hair pulled back in a messy ponytail. I was tired, you said, rubbing your eyes. Blame Jungkook's driving for being so comfortable. She laughed, setting a plate on the table. Well, at least you are here now. Sit, eat. I made your favorite. This looks amazing, you said, sincerely picking up a fork. Don't thank me too much. Jungkook helped me. Morning, he said, his voice slightly husky. He glanced at you, a small smile tugging at his lips. Did you sleep well? Yeah, you replied, trying to ignore the way your heart skipped a bit. He poured himself a cup of coffee, leaning against the counter as he sipped it. I hope my driving wasn't too exhausting for you, he teased lightly, a glint of humor in his eyes. It was fine, I was just joking. Ryan, do you remember when you tried to bake cookies for the first time? You groaned, covering your face. Don't remind me. Oh, I need to hear this, Jungkook said, leaning forward with genuine curiosity. She mistook salt for sugar, and when she realized her mistake, instead of starting over, she thought she could just add more sugar to fix it. Jungkook burst out laughing, his eyes crinkling at the corners. That's creative. Don't encourage her, your sister teased. The cookies were inedible. Even our dog wouldn't touch them. Alright, you said, laughing despite yourself. I was 13, okay? Cut me some slack. Fine, but I'm keeping that memory alive, your sister said, grinning. As breakfast wound down, you started gathering the plates, stacking them neatly. Alright, since you cooked, I will handle the dishes, you announced, standing up. Your sister immediately waved you off. No way, you are a guest. Guest or not, it's only fair, you argued. You have been working since morning, at least let me do this. Jungkook, standing up with his empty plate, said, I will help her. Your sister turned to him, raising an eyebrow. You, volunteering to do dishes? What can I say? I'm feeling generous today. She laughed, shaking her head. Alright, fine, you two handle it. She stood up, wiping her hands on a napkin. Well then, I will leave you to it. Don't break anything, she teased, giving Jungkook a pointed look before walking out with a smirk. You turned to Jungkook, who was already rolling up his sleeves. You really didn't have to help, you said, placing the dishes by the sink. I don't mind, he replied, his tone casual. Besides, two people make it faster. True, alright, let's do this. So, Jungkook began, handing you a plate to dry. Did your sister exaggerate that cookie story, or was it really that bad? You laughed, shaking your head. It was probably worse than she described. I was so confident I had nailed it until everyone spit out the first bite. Jungkook chuckled, his voice low and warm. Well, at least you tried. That counts for something. Not much, but thanks for trying to make me feel better. You handed him another plate, smirking. So tell me, what's the laziest thing you have ever done? Jungkook chuckled, leaning slightly against the counter. Okay, this is going to sound bad, but there was a time in college when I was so tired that I ate cereal straight out of the box with a fork because I couldn't find a spoon or a bowl. You burst out laughing, nearly dropping the next plate. A fork? That's next level crazy. Hey, it worked. What about you? Any lazy confessions? He thought for a moment, rinsing off a glass. Oh, once. I was so tired of folding laundry that I just shoved the clean clothes back into the basket and pretended I had done it. But my mom caught me, though, and made me refold everything. Jungkook laughed. Classic move. He handed you a clean mug to rinse, his expression softening slightly. It's nice talking like this. I feel like I don't get to just relax and chat with someone much these days. Really? Why not? Work, it's always so hectic, and when I am home, I don't want to burden your sister or the family with it, so I just keep to myself. That sounds tough, but you don't always have to keep it in. Sometimes just talking helps, even if it's about random stuff. He smiled at you, a small but genuine smile that made your heart skip a bit. You are easy to talk to, you know that? Well, I am glad. It's not every day I get to have such deep conversations over a sink full of dishes. He laughed again, the sound filling the kitchen. But hey, maybe this will be our thing, deep dishwashing talks. By the time you were done, the kitchen was spotless, and you both stood back to admire your work. Not bad, Jungkook said, drying his hands with a towel. We make a good team. You smiled, leaning against the counter. I will admit, it was fun. Thanks for helping. Anytime, he said again, his eyes lingering on yours for a moment longer than usual. You were sprawled on the living room couch, flipping through a magazine, but the silence was starting to get to you. Everyone seemed busy. Your sister and brother-in-law had gone out to run errands, and Jungkook was holed up in his room for a work meeting. Curiosity and boredom got the better of you, so you decided to see what Jungkook was up to. Quietly, you made your way to upstairs. He was nodding along to something someone on the call was saying, his lips pressed into a thin line as if to show he was paying the utmost attention. You had bite back a laugh. This was a side of Jungkook you rarely saw, obedient, professional, and completely immersed in his work. Unable to resist the urge, you slowly pushed the door open and stepped inside. Jungkook noticed you immediately, his eyes widening slightly as he held up a hand, signaling for you to stay, but you weren't about to miss an opportunity to mess with him. You tiptoed closer, your grin widening as you leaned against the edge of his desk. He glared at you softly, his lips moving silently as if to say, "Don't." But you being you ignored his warnings. Jungkook, Jungkook, you whispered, your voice teasing and playful. His eyes darted to the screen, then back to you. He quickly muted his microphone and leaned towards you, his voice low and stern. Wyan, what are you doing? I'm in a meeting. I know, you said feigning innocence, but you look so serious. It's funny. He groaned quietly, running a hand through his hair. This is important. Please just. Jungkook, you interrupted, drawing out his name in a sing-song voice. Wyan, he hissed, glancing at the screen to make sure no one noticed. Lower your voice, please. But why? You asked, tilting your head, your tone dripping with mock curiosity. Don't you want to talk to me? Yes, that's a great point. I'll make sure to review the proposal and get back to you by the end of the day. As soon as he muted himself again, he turned it back to you, his jaw tight. Wyan, I'm serious. Go. I'm working, he whispered harshly, his eyes narrowing. You can't just walk in like that. As you continued teasing Jungkook, you didn't notice how his frustration was building. You leaned closer to him, still grinning as you whispered, Jungkook, lighten up a bit. It's just a meeting. You are so tense. That was the last straw for him. He spun his chair to face you, his eyes blazing with irritation. Wyan, enough. He snapped, his tone sharp and cutting. You froze, startled by the sudden shift in his demeanor. Do you have any sense? How can you just walk into someone else's room without knocking? This is my space, and I'm in the middle of something important. I was just, you stammered, your playful smile fading quickly. You were just what? He interrupted, his glare hard. Trying to mess with me while I'm working? Do you even realize how unprofessional that looks? What if someone on the call had noticed? What were you thinking, huh? You opened your mouth to respond, but no words came out. The hurt in your chest grew with every word he spoke. Don't you have any manners? You don't just barge into someone's room like this. At the very least, you could knock. Do you seriously not understand that? Jungkook, I didn't mean to. Get out, Wyan. He snapped, pointing towards the door. I don't have time for this. Just leave and stop disturbing me. Fine, you muttered, your voice barely above a whisper. You turned it on your heel and walked out of the room, your head low. Inside the room, Jungkook sighed deeply and ran a hand through his hair. He leaned back in his chair, feeling a pang of guilt, even as he returned to his meeting. Jungkook, someone on the call said, bringing his attention back to the screen. Yes, sorry, he said quickly, shaking his head to refocus. But even as he tried to concentrate on the discussion, his mind kept drifting to the look on your face as you left. He ran a hand through his hair, recalling every word he had said to you, each sharp, cutting remark echoing in his mind like a painful reminder of his outburst. He exhaled deeply, leaning forward to rest his elbows on his knees. I overreacted. She didn't deserve that. She just wanted to have some fun, and I went and ruined it with my stupid temper. She must be so upset right now. Sad, maybe even angry, and it's my fault. The truth was, Jungkook had feelings for you from the very first day he met you at your sister's wedding. He had been captivated. You were different. Your energy, your smile, the way you carried yourself. Why do I keep messing things up? She probably thinks I don't even like her as a person after what I said, but I love her. The memory of your hurt expression flashed in his mind and his chest ached. You had looked so fragile in that moment. Your usual bright demeanor replaced by sadness, and it was because of him. I need to fix this, he resolved, sitting up straight. I need to apologize properly. Wyan, he called softly, leaning closer to the door. Please open the door. There was no response, just the sound of you trying to suppress your sobs. His heart ached knowing he was the cause of your pain. Wyan, I know you are upset. Please just let me talk to you. He tried again, his voice tinged with guilt. Wyan, Jungkook's tone grew more pleading and he pressed his forehead against the door. I know I messed up. I shouldn't have spoken to you like that. I'm so sorry. You sniffed quietly but didn't say anything. I didn't mean to hurt you. I was frustrated with work and I took it out on you. That wasn't fair and I hate myself for it. Just go, Jungkook. I don't want to talk right now. Wyan, please, he said, his tone desperate. I can't leave things like this. I need to make this right. You have already said enough, Jungkook. Just leave me alone. Just go, Jungkook. I need some time. Please don't make this harder for me. Alright, I will go, but Wyan, I'm not giving up. I'll make it up to you. You sniffed, wiping your cheeks with the back of your hand, but the tears wouldn't stop. No matter how much you tried to rationalize it, the pain lingered. He doesn't even like me. Why else would he talk to me like that? Your chest tightened at the thought. From the moment you met Jungkook at your sister's wedding, you had felt drawn to him. But now it felt like you had been wrong all along. I'm just an annoyance to him. He probably doesn't care about me at all. I'm just my sister's little sibling to him. The thought made fresh tears spill from your eyes, and you hugged yourself tighter. You wanted to hate him for making you feel this way, but deep down you couldn't. No matter how much his words had hurt, your feelings for him hadn't faded. I shouldn't have gone to his room. I should have known better. He has more important things to do than deal with someone like me.